Alright, here's the last hemp video of the week for y'all. I finished the spiral stitch that I was doing earlier. Hey, look, I still got that thing right there. Gotta whip that off. Alright. Now, what I'd like to do, we'll see how successful we are, is put a bead on it so that I can use this bead to latch the end. If you want to do it the foolproof way, the easy way, when you get, as you're working on it, you kind of want to test it and see, okay, is it quite there yet? Like, there's no exact science to it, at least that I'm aware of. So once I get to a certain length, I just start, I'll do 10 stitches, I stop, I wrap it around my wrist, and if it seems like it's going to meet, then I stop. But if it looks like it's a little farther away, do maybe 2, 5 more stitches, stop, check it again. And once it wraps around and it's pretty much end to end, the end of the loop is meeting the end of where your stitches are, that's where you want it to be. So if you want to do it the easy way, you just take, and you'll see there's significantly less string left now. You just take the ends of your strings, put them all together in a bunch so that they're easy to put through your hoops. Make sure your hoops are open. Fish them through there. Will spit, never hurt. And then once they're through the hoop, you just pull them all tight until they're there. And then get somebody to help you tie that off. You just tie a knot in it, however you'd like. And then once you're done tying the knot, you can just snip the ends, put a little hot glue on there, or I just like to snip the ends and leave about that much, maybe more, an inch, and then that, from all the water and wear and sweat, will kind of bead up, and you won't have to worry about it coming undone. Once you've worn it, especially like in the shower or in a pool, it's gotten wet, you don't really have to worry about the knot coming undone. Once it's been there and it hasn't come loose in like a day or so, then it's not going anywhere. But that's the easy way to do it. If you do it that way, you can't get it. You have to cut it to get it off. So if you do it that way, prepare to have it on for a long time. And if you're not used to it, hemp is like burlap. It's scratchy. It's not super comfortable. So what I'd like to do, let's see if this works, is put a bead on it. So when you do a bead, you leave the colored strings to the side, because you're just going to put the bead on the 2 road strings. And I said this before in other videos. Watch my my other video about how to do the flat stitch. So you'll know when I'm referencing the road, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, you put the bead on those 2 center strings, fish it all the way down. So now it's like that. The colored strings are not through the hole of the bead. They're to the side. And what you can do is you just keep doing a normal stitch like you've been doing around the bead. So leaving the bead as part of the road, I put the letter P, loop, lay it on front of the road, over the tail, behind the road, and up through the loop. And then tighten it around the bead. So now the bead it's in there, man. It's like in there, man. Sometimes you can, you know what? I'm going to do one more for good measure. So I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all up. There we go. Now it's really tight. Tighten it. Then, well, from here, what you could do is you could just take one of the roads and colored strings and one of the roads and colored strings and just tie a knot and pull it, tighten it. That's probably the best, because you don't want a huge bulky knot right here, or else the part that goes through the loop, it'll stick out of your wrist and look. You want it to look as little. You want the clumpiness of it to be as diminished as possible. Or maybe not. Maybe you prefer it to be bulky. I like to tie it like that instead of taking all the strings and tying them in a knot. That'll give you a huge knot at the end of your bead. Sometimes that don't look so good. So anyway, once we've done that, let's just see if this fits. So I'm going to do what I did before. Make all of the ends meet. Try to make ends meet. Feed them through the hoop. Get in there. Oh, come on. There we go. Pour some through. Won't you put your wrist through the hoop like this, okay? And then, oh, lordy, put it tight. I want to make sure that my hoops go over that bead. Oh, it's hard. Having a hard time. And when you cry sometimes. Did I get it? I got one. Now my yellow loop is a tad too small. But sometimes that's a bummer. Well, as you can see, my yellow loop is not going over the bead. But if it looks like it's about to, but it's not quite there, don't worry about it too much, because usually what you can do, I'm going to try it here so you can see it a little bit better, is take it off your wrist, feed it back through like you had before. Just makes it easier to work with when it's not on your wrist. And then, so as you can see, so there's my loops and there's the bead. The white one goes over. Now the yellow one, if you're, there we go. You just got to muscle it sometimes. The string will stretch, especially this. My center string I was saying earlier is cheaper and it's not as stretchy, but my color string is a lot better quality, and it's more of like I want to say like it feels more cottony. Hemp can feel really rough like burlap, but some of the more high quality ones are softer and they're stretchier. So if you take it off, stretch it out a couple times, put it on and off the bead so that it loosens up, and then put it on your wrist. And then once it's like this on your wrist, you can, like you did before, that knot should be sufficient, go to about that length, and you can either cut that right there, or you can cut it really close to the knot, which I don't recommend doing because I don't do it, and you can super glue or put hot glue over top of that. I like to leave the glue out of it. It just doesn't seem natural. So I like to leave about that much on there, and after a while it'll fray down and kind of, you won't even notice it. So that's pretty much that. And then the rest you can save for something or throw it away. Usually you're not going to have a lot left over, and that's why I was saying in earlier videos, I don't like to, you want to overestimate a little bit so that you're not stuck coming up short at the end, but you really don't want to throw away a lot of it. It's wasteful, and this stuff can be expensive. Especially the yellow and the blue, the higher quality stuff. So you want to waste as little as possible. Ideally, you'd only end up with like this much at the end. That's the perfect situation. I always overdo it, so try not to be like me. But that's it. That's how you finish one. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, and I think I will do some GIMP stitches coming up here probably next week. So I'll see you guys then.